ready?
What up, everybody? This is Davis Peng, writer for Fantasy Six Pack and the host of the Golden Ticket Show. That being said, thanks for joining us for another episode. Thanks for hanging out with me. This week we got Ball Mania Draft 139. Clearly about over 600 drafts on the season and then closing on 7, something like that. I want to share my last few drafts with, Fantasy Six Pack followers, right? You guys deserve to be a part of whatever I'm doing, to see, hey, full transparency, you get to see how I draft, what I'm talking about, why I do X. Am I winning? Am I losing? We'll find out. But that being said, this is Draft 139. Before we get started, you know how this goes. I want to welcome you all to becoming an all-access member of Fantasy Six Pack. You get access to the award-winning rankings, draft sheets, DFS projections, and betting tools, and other great content on our website. Best of all, you get access to the analysts directly on our Discord, where you can get custom advice for your leagues. Go to fantasy6pack.net/plans to sign up today. And anyways, last but not least, if you want to sign up for best ball, you've never been a part of it, use promo code 6pack. You sign up with that, we give you a little bit of more money to spend on your drafting, and you help us, and you're supporting us. That's a good way to pay us back for, all this free content on the side. That being said, thanks for joining us. This will be my draft 139, guys. I want to get this kicked off pretty fast. So I'm going to pop this baby up. We're going to hop in a draft, and I'm going to discuss while I'm waiting for this to start. All right. 3 more people to go. So before this gets started, I kind of want to touch on a few things. So I've been drafting since February or March, whenever the start of all this began with Big Board. I started drafting since day one of Ball Mania. I did about 50 drafts in the first month of Ball Mania, which I will say was a little excessive, and I did not take advantage of it as well as I should have. So first thing I'm going to go over is just some lessons I learned. When you're going to draft that early, you kind of want to spread out your picks better. I do a ton of research in playoff season, coming into these drafts, after the drafts, and I do more than just putting numbers together and projecting, well, this guy's going to score this many, that's why he's ranked X. Or this is what he did last year, and it's a plug and play. I'm not doing that. Sometimes I come at the game a little bit differently. I research, hey, how do I think this team is going to change, right? I think a big thing right now that I see some people talk about, it's like a good example is the Bears. Everyone's like, oh my God, the Bears threw like 20 pass attempts last year, which is actually the real stat was like 21, 22. So it's not far off. They barely threw. But everyone takes that number and then goes, see, they did this last year. So that's what they're going to do next year. And I go, well, no. Everything a team has done in the NFL, it's always a business decision, or it's a decision to them to win. Yes, they could tank, sure, whatever. We know about the Miami Dolphins, with the whole tanking situation. That being said, most teams try to win. We saw this last year with the Falcons. We saw this last year with the Bears. We saw this with even like the Texans, right? Like they went to go win a game. They said like, hey, screw you, we're gonna win. Like, Bears, here's Panthers, here's your picks, that kind of thing. So I do think that one thing I always like to analyze is what was the business decision, or what put them in the best way to win. And everyone thinks that the Bears are just going to throw 22 times, like as an average this season, is obviously just like grabbing numbers and just moving them over, saying this is next year. If that was the case, we would have the same, number ones every year. NFL isn't the same from season to season. So that's what I like to point out. So, if you joined us from the journey, you could have seen that I have been very much in on a lot of like just getting ahead of the game. So I do a lot of my research, and I think that's kind of why it at the same time held me back a little bit from pushing into kind of getting weirder drafts, but at the same time gave me an edge that I don't think a lot of people are going to have that drafted in February, April, March, or even now coming into the season. So, kind of a fun thing to talk about, a little bit different than just talking about what I would do here. So I'm at the moment, God, I am getting a lot of digs these days. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I want to go for Bijan. I'm going to push into RB early on this one. And I think part of the reason I'm going to do that is because we are at a point where casuals are drafting a lot more. And I talked a little bit this on the last episode when I was doing my BBM 128. If you're trying to play RB0 at this point, it can get really bad, really bad. It can get really bad really fast. I think Hero RB is really strong right now, and dual elite RBs are very strong right now in these tournaments with a lot of casuals, because you'll start to see running backs get drafted more often. And if, let's say, I'm trying to draft like I did in April or May or June or July, where everyone was taking less running backs, I could get solid value on them. I could get burned. I could like go, oh yeah, I can get Dobbins at pick 68 and get Damian Pierce at pick 67, something like that. And then I get down there and they're all gone. They got grabbed like around early. And then, or there's just a lot of great wide receiver value, and I'm just staring there and going like, oh my god, like it could be me getting a round and a half fall in Terry McLaurin, which he's a big faller these days. I've seen him go in the mid-50s. So I advocate for at least getting one RB in your first 4 picks. I know there's going to be RB0 truthers, but like if you get 2 RB0 truthers in your drafts, man, like you're generally pretty much boned for the rest of the season. Man, this is all. Let's do it. You know what? I'm gonna play Pollard. I'm gonna get even weirder. We're gonna go elites. We're gonna go double elites. My goal at this point is to really push these wide receivers and get these in round 3, round 4. Targets I'd probably be looking at is obviously, if you follow me, I'm really been taking Jerry Jeudy a lot, taking DJ Moore. I actually wrote an article on this man when he was at pick 48, 47 to 49 and later, and how underrated he was. Obviously, he does well in preseason. I jumps with 6 ADPs. And I'm like, well, he's no longer underrated. He's drafted where he should be. I loved how versatile he was as an ADP, but now it's just getting out of hand. Now we have Drake London and Terry McLaurin now further down. Anyways, so I think if you're going double elite quarter RB, you are setting yourself up for a lot of like less surprises. Less surprises such as this, the guy that goes Kelsey, Patrick Mahomes, these standard plays, but you get a lot of the badge lists that will probably play. I think badge lists not so terrible, but these guys that are a little bit newer and have that old school mindset that RB is the way to play. And yeah, you just want to dodge that. I don't want to go in this random spree where I push, and don't grab my guys, or any guys, and then I'm stuck. And I'm like, oh crap, and I'm panicking. And my first running back is like, James Cook. And like some people are coolly fine with that, but it's rough. And then you got to play 6 running backs. Then if you don't have elite quarterbacks or elite tight ends, then you're playing from behind at least 2 positions. That's my thought process on that, and that's kind of why I think at this point in the draft of the draft season, that running backs have more value just because they're going to start getting snatched up a little bit quicker. They will catch you off guard. One other thing I like to talk about too is just that I really don't like drafting at the end of the season. That's why I do a good chunk of my drafts, like my at least 100 or 110 by August, and I try to finish it all within the first 2, maybe 3 weeks of August. I don't want people to have more information. And holy crap, this guy took Christian Watson at 23. All right, cool. If you've been with me, I bad shame, and that's why. Oh my god. Anyways, so that being said, part of what I do is I like how I don't want people to have more information. I kind of relate it to poker, right? Like, do you want these people? Do you want your opponent to know what the next card is to make a bet? Probably not. Like, if they're chasing a straight or they're chasing a flush, and like they get 4 cards, like you can let them see river. The answer is probably not. You're just gonna like stop it, not get burned for no reason, collect your winnings. Maybe not the greatest analogy here, but in this case, it kind of, for me, it would be. I would tell you, like, I want to draft when people have less, and I'm doing more work. Then when it starts becoming more spoon-fed, that means more guys are getting on the same or at least even playing ground as you. Like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I could have drafted Jeff Wilson like at pick 200. Nobody wanted Jeff Wilson. Everyone's like, oh my god, Jeff Wilson received Mostert. Like, Dalvin Cook's gonna ruin them. And I kept saying it for a while. Like, I don't think it's gonna happen. Like, it just doesn't seem like it's actually going to occur. And if I should say this, we're drafted on August 15th today. Like, we know now that Dalvin Cook is a Jet, and I was just taking Wilson. I saw Jeff Wilson fall like round 17, round 18 constantly. I had like 24%. And even if he sucks, even if he does nothing, and it's a terrible pick for me, It's fine. I didn't pay like round 14 prices like some guys are going to do now. I paid around 17 to 18 prices. I paid like nothing for him. Same thing for Darius Slayton, another guy that kind of went like, very late and whatnot, and he paid a lot for him. Oof, this is not bad. I can't take this. Can't take the value here for these guys. I could probably take Debo, but I'm gonna play the hits. I'm gonna get Jerry Jeudy, my boy, my buddy. But like you kind of have to do that. That's why you want to draft all season. If you're doing the work, put some put it to use. If you're following best ball, you're following any football content earlier than the masses, which is anytime before April, right? So people start kind of chiming in like April 5th kind of thing. They're getting ready to preseason week 1, that kind of stuff. They're starting to catch up on injuries and stuff. Like, dude, if you already know this, take advantage. And people are getting sharper. We're more connected than we've ever been, but you can still get a huge edge. If you're doing the research, you're looking at projections, you're looking at numbers, you're looking at coaching changes, you're looking at interviews. You do that stuff now, because drafting in the end of August, September, you're going to get everyone is going to be closer to you in the playing ground. They could be 2, 3, 4 steps closer to you when you had this huge leverage with 4. So I believe drafting early is strong. Yes, there is some minus EV in some cases, but I do think that there's a lot of value to gain too, especially if I could get, in first month of the draft, like you get Jerry Jeudy like round 5. There's a guy out there probably sitting there with Justin Jefferson, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, Jerry Jeudy, Keenan Allen teams, and you're just like, he has, my 3rd and 4th round picks with 2 of the stud running backs that are going in round 2 now, or some being round 1, that kind of stuff. Oh man, this guy always doesn't surprise me when he does moves like this, because that's expected. Yeah, that's like fun. I like that though. Props to a person playing like that. I enjoy that. 3 receivers. He's gonna take a running back. I would be surprised if he didn't. He can get Gibbs. He could easily grab Gibbs here and be like totally chill. Here we get the stack. Puts him in a kind of weird pigeonhole though if he does that. Oh, he gets Hawk. How? All right, cool. Here we're getting different. I'm gonna play the hits. I don't want to get different. I want to get what makes the most sense. Correlated receivers, like that's totally fine. Number one's on their team. I still think Keenan Allen has enough juice in him to get it done. He was really good last year if he can stay healthy. He doesn't, then a lot of people are screwed besides me anyway. He's not my highest owned player by any means, so I just want to point that out. But I do think that if I had to grab him, I'm grabbing him here. Let's see what my exposures are for him. My exposures at the BBM for Keenan Allen has been a little bit higher. I would not be surprised if I was at least 8%, if not a lot higher. I'm at 4%. Holy crap. I'll be at 5 after this one. I only have $150 worth of him, which would put me at what? 6? So 7 Keenan Allens, I guess. So could be doing a little bit better. But I'm sure I have them in the right teams. Anyways, back as I was saying before, I like to draft earlier. So I'm going to finish my last, I have 12 drafts of this. I'll probably do 1 to 2 more for the Golden Ticket podcast. And then, that'll be it. If you have any questions, obviously, guys, feel free to leave comments, all that fun stuff. I'm here to assist. I know some of you have messaged me in the Discord, which love it. I need to get better at my notifications on that. I'm sorry, but always feel free to ping me, DM me, and that kind of stuff. I am really, really willing to assist anybody in that kind of stuff. But yeah, take advantage of it. This is how you win. And it costs you a couple bucks out of your pockets to get advice from someone that's spending a lot, if not all, their time on this kind of thing. So I don't know. It just seems like money in the bank to me. And I think I have proven myself to win enough, do well and all that fun jazz in between. So that being said, where we at? Pick 49. Let's see where these guys are at. Terry McLaurin, 49, not a bad drop. T. Higgins. This is good. I like these kind of teams. This guy getting the 101 is probably bad for everybody else because this is a very strong roster. Whether you feel good about JT or not, it's not about how you feel about JT. It's how this construction is. Right off the bat, he has an elite RB that could be a round 2 guy if he was, or even round 1 if he reverts back to his normal numbers. The number 1 wide receiver, a strong number 2 that is a wide receiver 1. Has put up wide receiver 1 numbers, even though he's played less than 3. He's missed 3 to 4 games. Then he has 2 deep shot guys and a semi-consistency deep shot guy. So he's basically playing with like house money for wide receivers. If he doesn't catch up at running back, still I could see this getting really south for this person. But this is good. I really, really enjoy this. It's a strong start. Good fallers, capitalization. Sure, DJ Moore wasn't there, but like Terry McLaurin and DJ Moore are probably going to be that different. And Terry McLaurin could just have amazing upside. And yeah, Mike Williams too. This is absolutely gross. Unfair. I'm gonna have to play hard catch up with this person. I'm gonna hope that this person just blows RB, or there's an RB run and he's just boned. But the odds of that are like super slim. My next set of picks, I could grab Herbert's. I could set myself up for that like week, 17 and get my stack here. It'd be nice. I think I'd still be playing from behind though. If I grab him, I won't be to grab, I want to grab Godwin. Kind of want to grab Deontay. He's been getting reached up pretty hard. There goes my Godwin, man. People are trying to figure out that Ayuk is just not the pick anymore. This sucks. This is a really tough part to be in. I do know that I kind of at least want these. There's no other play out here. Yeah, I'm gonna grab Herbert. Let's play chalk. We're gonna grab that stack. Not my favorite. Not even gonna pretend. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, "Let's go," let's go and this. Like it's gonna be good. I'm playing from behind, and I can explain why. You just saw the other guy with 4 elite receivers that can compare, if not be better than my entire wide receiver core. Right? Like I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna sit here and say, like, "Oh my God, Terry McLaurin is just gonna blow the crap out of the combination of Terry McLaurin and Jerry Judy's gonna blow the crap out of Terry McLaurin and like Mike Williams." It's not. The odds are probably slim as hell. So, and then he has Justin Jefferson and Higgins. Like, there's a reason these guys are being taken ahead of ADP, right? There's a reason for all of that. So even if I think Judy's gonna have a better year than him, which I do, it's still one of those like you have 2 guys that are going to contribute a buttload, and then you have the number 1 receiver who, even if Jerry Judy does have a better year, is it better than Justin Jefferson? The answer's probably not. His running backs can compare to mine. His running back can compare to mine. And he gets Dobbin. He reaches a little bit, and this is a good pickup. This is what I mean. Like this is good playership. Not this person. He'll get there, but it's good playership, and it's just gonna like sting. So I'm hoping for an RB run. This guy grabbed one a little bit. It's gonna slow the other person down. Let's see what I get back to me. I want to play for deep shots. I need to catch up. I could take JSN. I don't want to start slow. I don't want to finish kind of weird. I want these deep shot guys, and this is kind of a reach for Gabe Davis, but I need to play for upside. So unless this person takes Gabe Davis and I end up like just cursing on the camera, he takes Miles Sanders. Cool, perfect. Could have got ADP value here by getting JSN. I think he's a really good player. I think I want to play from behind though for a little while, and I can't afford that. Like I can't afford 10-point games. I need to like get this 20 burger, 30 burger type of situation. I already have 2 consistency guys, but like I said, I'm not gonna sit and pretend that like, oh my God, like let's go, I'm crushing it. This is the $3 million team, something like that. I'm playing to advance, and then I'm also playing to see, can I build a roster that helps me advance to playoffs? And I'll say from this standpoint, if I make it to round 2, this is going to be good. Like this is going to be a very solid roster round 2. Probably going to like crap out all over everybody else. Because round 2, like you want these stacks, you want these correlations, you want like these elite RBs. It's going to be good times. The guys with hero RBs and zeros, man, zero RB like sucks in playoffs. In my opinion, it absolutely sucks because you're banking that you're going to beat, you're not getting steady points. You need to bank that your 0 RBs are the guys and are going to go off in an elimination round against 16 plus other players twice. Like that is rough. Like imagine sitting there going like, man, I need Tank Bigsby to go off 2 games straight. I need Damien Harris to go off 2 games straight. Oh man, I need, Deontay Foreman to be the guy 2 games straight. Like that is, your odds of that are super slim. And I think that's why 0 RB is gonna just has such a hard time in playoffs. Even like the number 1 team last year with King Cat, when he won, like his team got eliminated right off the bat. Then Miles Sanders just didn't put up, and then the rest of his team couldn't catch up, and they just got beat it out, which sucks. Didn't make the team worse. Still won $1 million, but it's just how that is. So he's gonna get Akers. Like that's a gift. This guy's gonna crush now. So I'm probably playing for number 2. Yeah, he's gonna get Akers and a tight end. And this is just gonna be an absolutely gross team. Oh, he gets more receivers. Okay, and he just punted this team. If he would have taken Akers and like Goddard, Akers and Pitts, man, this team would have been built. I don't know. These 2 receivers do not scream upside to me. Like hence these 4. Like the odds of these 2, maybe Addison to an extent, but like Pittman ever finding a way to beat these other guys, that's unlikely. Like Pittman would have to have the game of his life to equal like a upper average game of Justin Jefferson or T. Higginson, etc. That was terrible. He just gave value to everybody else. So this guy here, Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey, DK, like this guy is going to be able to bounce back if he gets Akers. This person's going to kind of be able to catch up a little bit. And he has a good set of receivers. Like this is the kind of stuff you want to see. And you take Goddard. I don't know. I think that was a freaking terrible pick. Oh my god, does Akers have like, what does he have? Does he have a disease that no one knows about? Like what's going on? I would have snatched him up so hard. I'll snatch him up if he comes to me. I don't even care. I will take that and just go with it. What's going on? What's up with everybody in these drafts? I'm gonna have to look at news in the middle of my draft and be like, did he catch like super COVID? Like what's going on? This guy is like dead. Anyways, I would have snatched Akers anywhere between these guys, and I could be wrong for it, I guess, but I don't know. There we go. He caught up. And I said, okay, the kid. There we go. Let's see, guy got caught up. He got him. He got the double pick back. Oh my god, that's amazing. Lucky. Damn, that's gonna be tough. Pitts 2. All right, so Cooks. That sucks. I was actually looking for Brandon Cooks. I don't want double weapons on this team. I want to take John Dodson. I want this deep shot type player. Part of me wants to say maybe I could grab QJ here. I could get Javonte Williams and really play this out, but I'm sorry, man. I'm still not sold. I it's one of those things I got to double down on. If I wasn't on Javonte earlier, I can't just be on Javonte now because the news are trending a little bit better, which I guess is not the greatest logic. I'm just not in on it. I am doubly the RB anyways. And odds are I can take Connor if I can get him. I do have 4 stout receivers, stout-ish receivers. I take Traylon. That was what I was looking at. Connor Johnson. I think I can get away with it. I could build a 4 RB team. Oh no! What is going on? Don't you do it? Don't you do it? You already have 3. 3 guys with same bye weeks. Yeah, he's taking. He's gonna take an RB. I think. No, this is an interesting pick. That is fun. You can take Deshaun Watson for Garrett Wilson stack. That would make some sense. He's probably staring at that clock, going, "Man, my bye weeks. Whoa, what is going on? All right, I'll just whatever, man. Playing the hits. Let's go. I'll take that. I'm cool with that. Our running backs are going to be stout as hell. I have ADP droppage. 14 picks from now. Do I have my boys? Probably not. I kind of want Thomas. I want Bateman. Probably won't get either of those guys. Could grab a tight end here. David Njoku, FF. And then these guys are going to be correlated, which kind of sucks. I'm actually kind of in on some of these later receivers still. Like I really like Lazard. I don't know, man. Like people are gonna crap on me for loving Lazard, but I think like Lazard has like a shot on my kind of team to be like very usable for 4 to 6 games. And I'd say specific to my team because my wide receiver is a little bit more top heavy with deep shot guys and upside players rather than consistency. I think Lazard gives you consistency. So that's kind of how that goes. It's just funny. Oh my god, that's a kind of a good steal on my side. Let's see where we're at. That's not bad. Okay, so Sky Moore, Jalen Hurts team. This is fine. Madison drop. He got some pretty good value. Brees Hall news obviously is going to tank his ADP over the next few weeks. When the news dropped, we were at about 30. We were about 67% of the drafts complete, like 68, 66.9 or something like that. And that means like 33% of the rest of Best Ball Mania is going to have a totally different ADP or value shot on Brees Hall and Ramondre Stevenson versus the rest of us that drafted Brees and Ramondre earlier. I didn't have a ton of Brees Hall. I didn't have a ton of Ramondre, and I was turning the corner. I was like, yeah, you know what? We're in the middle of like August. You know, if we would have gotten news, we would have gotten news by now. And I actually drafted like 3 to 4 teams, like of 2 of each. Where I got like I got a couple of Ramondres, and then I got a couple of Brees Halls, and I was like, yeah, okay, this is where I feel like I could take them. The news breaks like the next day, and then like the same day, same time of those drafts. After those drafts, and I'm just like, of course, like the minute I decide like, hey, I should start drafting these guys, of course, like the news is gonna break on me, and of course, I'm the one who's gonna get like burned at the end of this. I was absolutely livid at the same time. I was like, like I capitulated, and oh, come on, man. Damn, I was waiting for that. He wasn't even the top guy. He autoed anyways. But I was I was absolutely like triggered to an extent. I was like, really, like this is when this happens. I'll put Scary Bateman. I want Bateman. I want Jameson Williams. I would take me some Jameson after like wide receiver 6. Still a value. Probably won't help you win the regular season price, which kind of sucks. But man, if you're playing from behind, like Jameson Williams is like straight up value because he's gonna help you catch up when you need it. Kincaid, what are you doing here? What's going on with these people? They're skipping ADPs. He doesn't even freaking have the stack going on. Like it's not like he had like Josh Allen or a Patriot or like anything. He just grabbed Colin Kincaid. He's like, yo, this is my guy. All right, whatever, dude. People do you, man. So my next set of picks, I need to figure out if I want a tight end. I can figure I can grab some scooping value on a quarterback here that matches Herbert's. I know some people are going to say, like, you have Herbert. Like, why would you grab it on? Because I believe having an elite and a upper mid to a mid can be very, very handy because here's the thing. These guys are the elites, but they're double the ADP of the other elites, right? These are like mid elites. These are low elites. It's not runners. It's not these guys that we think that will blow it out straight up. If they were to blow it out, we would tell you to draft them at pick 30, pick 35, even early 40s. He's a 56 pick, right? Guys like Kirk, Daniel Jones are like very interesting picks for me here. I could take them because they will contribute to my team. But Daniel Jones would be a very nice pick here, and I can get free easy stacks for him. My next set of picks would probably be like Russ, and they work with my correlation, and that's fine. And Russ is also a guy I'm very into too. Let's see what this person ends up with. This is likely not a J-Dubs team. I have no idea why you would reach on for this. Yeah, he has to be from the future, man. There's no way. And then he takes A-Rod. Does he even have... Okay, so that's better. Okay. Which is great. I'm taking Jameson Williams, man. Like, there's no second wide receiver on this team. And the minute he comes back from week 6, he'll give you... Because he's going to miss another game. He has a bye week. So he misses 7 games. You still get 10 solid games of him. He's going to be somebody out there, and he costs you nothing. And he contributes 4 to 5 games, which he will, in my opinion, I think he will at least contribute 5 games in those last 10. I think every other game he can be very usable. Then, like, that's fine. Like, he pays back ADP. You got to think about your odds of these pick 100 and like 10, 20 guys contributing even more than 3 to 4 games. Right? It's slim. So I think Jameson Williams was one of those guys that guarantees the contribution later. And I needed him. Like, my receivers, and I said it from earlier, like, I'm playing from behind. I like my RBs though. Like, that's really cute. I really think strong RBs. This could be a 4 RB team. Probably will be, depending on who I grab. And then I could really load up. I can go probably like 2-4, which is 6 players, 8-4. I can probably get 4 tight ends. This is probably a 4 tight end team if I've ever seen one. And I get 8 receivers. I don't want to grab 9. I think 9 is just excessive at that point. but I think I could grab 8s, and I can just grab just like junky dudes like Mac Hollins and like Corey Davis and Van Jeff, and these guys are just like the weeks they are usable. Hopefully they're just different than everybody else. These are all deep shot type players. I think Bateman's a little bit more consistent possibly, but these other 3 are going to be DPs, deep shots, boom or bust players. Well, After's gone. The fact that he even went that late was just a blessing for most people. Could grab Lazard, give myself a little bit of consistency if he does come back. I have a shot at some tank. I shot at Dak. Doesn't help me here, though. I don't think I need Dak. And, of course, when I said I have a shot at tank, and there it goes. But, like, oh, man, this is interesting. Yeah, this is getting a lot better. He played the ADP well. Zach, AJ Dillon, Zach, Jamal with tank. This is fine. I probably wouldn't like the combination of those bottom 4, but I think that's good. Good comeback, man. Like that's a very solid roster. That's a gross wide receiver room. This is definitely a 6 receiver core, maybe 7 if you really just didn't feel good about it. Probably a 2-7-7-2. I'm scared for your quarterbacks though. I just don't know what quarterback you could grab that feels good at this point. That is like solidarily strong. That isn't a 3 quarterback build, unless he gets Dak to come back another round. Like that would have been interesting. Dak Gino really could have turned this team around for him. Here's what it is. All right. Let's see, where am I at? I got a couple picks. 4 picks away. I hope I can get Lazard. If I get Lazard here, they'll put me at 7 receivers, and I'm really done at receivers. And then I can grab Russ in the comeback, and I just start just eating up the those tight ends. Of course, I lose Russ to the. Of course, whatever. All right, we're gonna take this. We're gonna get the consistency on the board. I can take Jared Goff. So I got a turn. I said I could, and I should have paid attention. This person I'm on Rob, but the person said, "Hey man, 3 receivers is enough. Let's get more tight ends and more quarterbacks." All right, cool. All right, my last shot would be naked car. I could grab Howell, I think. I like grabbing Howell sometimes. I'll probably grab naked car and then pull a Jawan Johnson on the back end. At least that's stacked a little bit. So let's see. I should grab Marvin Mims. Well, if I grab Mims, that gives you 4. So that gives you 8 receivers. Get Mims, Carr. Then I just clown car those tight ends. You know, I got a buttload of these guys I can clown car towards the end of this. I think I could play the Dulcich game here and just no, sorry, I could play the Mims game and just grab Mims and call it. I think that's just a bad pick. I don't want to give because there's a lot of 1 QB teams. There's a 0 quarterback teams. I don't want this guy to get Carr. I feel like his team just actually gets useful. I kind of want him to have junk. He can still get Stafford, though. There's still some outs with Stafford. Pickett and Salmon. He's probably going to grab Kyler Murray. I feel like that's just almost like a gimme pick. Oh, it didn't matter. I didn't get him anyways. I couldn't get Van Jeff. If I get Van Jeff, I get Schultz. Give me Van Jeff. I take Van Jeff here. He's an adds to my deep shot. I can grab Stafford on the. If I'm lucky, I can grab Stafford. I'll give me some correlation, some stackage, and a little bit of wide receiver play. And it's one of the few quarterbacks at the butt end if he plays the entire season and he has shots to beat Justin Herbert on a random week-to-week basis. Is it consistent? Probably not. Let's pull up the tight end. At this point, this is just tight end city for me. So we got him. Coconut Chick. This is actually like a lot of good tight ends. This is Luce. No. We got Juwan, we got Knox, we got Fergie, and Conklin, Luke. He went up a little bit these days. Hunter, Hayden. That's probably where I end my list of Noah Fant. Funny enough, that trade might Zach Ertz's league plug Noah Fant. It's pretty funny. Start really piling up these tight ends, and then I got 1 running back I need. Just need 1 left, and then running backs on the board. We still got Deontay Foreman. We still got Singletary. Probably wouldn't help me too much because of the shared bye weeks. We got Jeff Wilson. I could Jeff Wilson. I could have Gus Bus. There's a lot to do. So yeah, I think I built a really stout team actually. This is a really good receiving core. I caught up at the end of it. We'll see how it does. All right, let's see what these other teams are doing right now. Let's see what they're doing. So I have my answer this entire time. Jacoby Marquez, Kylan. This person, the number 101, still has no quarterback, which is going to be very interesting. Let's see what they do. This has got to be a Stafford pick. If this isn't a Stafford pick, I don't know what they're doing. Shaw. It's all he needs tight end. Mingo. And they grabbed Mingo. Oh my God. That is ridiculous. This is just okay. This guy just punted this team. That is a punt if I've ever seen one. What an amazing start, and then what a terrible finish so far. No judgment still. You still got 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 still, but it's like, what are you gonna do when you get to this part of the draft and like you're stuck with like Howell, Pickett, Desmond Ridder, and like Ryan Tannehill and stuff? I mean, that doesn't feel good. I mean, Pickett's probably my favorite that's left on the board, but who even knows if he makes it back? Stafford gone? What's going on? Oh, he's there. Still there. Oh, wow. Mims came all the way back around. Holy crap. I just skip it and try to get Pickett. I can get Howell. Yeah, I need Howell for my stack. Yeah, let's look at Howell towards the end of this. I want to grab a double tight end. I think I need to catch tight ends where I can. Let's get Laporta. Goes together with my Williams. I'll be getting his bonus games while Williams is out. And then when he comes back, you'll have a steady set of games. So it's a win-win either way. All right. 151 Canada Cable. A guy that you could have gotten for like pick 200 a couple weeks ago. Or pick 180. He's just really up there. He's just juiced up. Kind of wish I could have got Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet's one of my favorite tight ends to grab at this point. He's like super late, super underrated. Everyone expects him to be a guy when he can just be like just a guy every now and then. But his ADP is basically where it should have been last year. But they're gonna throw him one, man. Like I wasn't meant to be a 1 or even a 2. He's gonna be a 3 on this team. Like I like it for Fields. Fields has a lot of like possible upside for himself. Actually, I can grab Stafford here because I feel like there's still some tight ends I can grab down here without crushing myself. And I'm going to try to grab 4 anyways. So it's not the end of the world. But I can't find a Stafford. Oh, okay. There's a Chig. This guy has 3 quarterbacks. What are you doing? Why do you have 3 quarterbacks? Especially early. Ew, that's gross. Absolutely gross. I'm going to be cocky and just say I'm not going to end up last on this one. Up with these people, man. Then oh my God, he grabs a 3rd. Crap. All right, cool. Could grab Singletary here. Kind of set myself up for my 4th RB and be done. Gonna push it though. I think I can get away with stuff. Shit. Got some very interesting RB picks here. Because after this, I don't think I get a lot of these guys back. And Jeff Wilson has been getting reached on pretty hard. Do I get Wilson back at? It sounds like I have a shot at it. You know what? Let's play the game. Stafford time. All right. Let's see. Do I get Devin? Do I get Wilson or even Gus in the back? Or even Chuba. Chuba's actually a really fun pick here too. I want to push 2 more tight ends and then a 4th. Tight ends are getting really dragged up hard. Tight ends or running backs are one of those things that like really do vanish super fast, and you can still find good wide receivers. And that's why I wasn't too like, did I have to grab Jefferson? No, I could have just grabbed like Slayton, like 7 rounds, like or 6 picks later, or 6 rounds later, and I think it would have been fine. And that's kind of a maybe, but I just wanted to get this out of the way now. This could have been a tight end pick though, and I could have really dragged it out. That's just, like I said, I dropped a ton of teams, and I still make these like mistakes in the moment. Whoa, Luke Musgrave. 161. Does he even have? I just put him up at least. He could have waited around though. This was like an excessive pick. This is what I mean. Like tight ends just get snatched up though. Like this is something people haven't really noticed. Like tight ends are not making it to round 18 sometimes. They're making it to like round 17. And if you're trying to get your last tight end in round 18, like you might just get burned. Like it's the odds of you getting burned are very high, especially if you only have two and you need a third. You're punting. The person fell asleep at the wheel. He fell asleep at the wheel. Oh man, this was a good roster too. Just Bryce Young. That's imagine like this, and then like leading your team with like Bryce Young. Like what if Bryce Young puts up like 14 points? She will put like 10 or 12. What are you gonna do? You grab Pickett. Pickett would have been a smart pick. Like, holy crap! All right, he's probably gonna grab Howell in the last turnaround and think he gets it back. He might get lucky, but like still, like that's just so bad. I don't know. That is very interesting. I don't know about that. You want to grab the veterans. You want to grab guys in year 2, year 3. They usually have way more odds of being better than a rookie quarterback on a very ambiguous team. Although I will say if I had to pick one rookie, I would rather have the Panthers' weapons on Bryce Young than Stroud's weapons and grab Stroud. I think Stroud's weapons are not clearly as good as people think they are. Like Nico Collins got drafted at pick 99 in this draft. And for like what reason besides like just this gross hype train? Right, I can grab Jeff Wilson here and a tight end. I'm gonna grab Juwan, I think. You could also just got Chuba on the butt. Jeff Wilson can actually lead his team though, become very useful. I grab Wilson. I for sure have a 4 RB team. But I do need I do want 4 tight ends, and this is where it gets really tough if I don't do it. Yeah, it's just he's injured like 4 times already, but that's just a pick. All right, this is the 4 RB team now. Sorry, 4 RB team, 4 tight ends. We're grabbing Juwan, we're grabbing Knox, Ferguson, Conklin, Henry, like Hayden, and we're gonna grab it in this order. I'm just gonna like walk away from my computer. Other tight ends I could consider: Trey McBride, maybe Jelani Woods, Cade Otton, I guess. It's gross. That's kind of why I feel like this is where it gets really gross and unlike undraftable guys. How's Robert Tonyan even doing? Important part of the offense, they say. It's Jeremy Ruckert and stuff too. I'm up at 5. Please, for the love of God, let me get. I freaking knew it. He's a hype train guy. I should have just grabbed him. A couple weeks ago, I could have gotten like for like $1 on them for nothing. Juwan Johnson was just like a cheap player. Ooh, this guy's just chasing the hype train guys. Mike Wilson at 181. That's a full stack game. This is a stacked up team. I won't be surprised if you see Mac Hollins at the end of this guy's team to like get that random correlation there. You can see a little bit of correlation. Juwan Johnson to go with his other pick. That's not bad. I'll take that. It's good. Props to him. Knox. Ferguson. It's looking pretty good. I don't have a tiebreaker for these right now because they're all kind of tight. I mean, my only tiebreaker I could say is maybe like EDP, but let's just grab first. We're going to grab 4 tight ends. This is a 4 tight end build. It's probably the first one I'm going to do in a while or ever, I think, in a minute. But this is actually the roster I had to come to where you go 4 tight ends and don't grab a 5th RB. This is probably it. Unless like Chuba is maybe there, I would maybe consider it. Chuba is really valuable right now. But my tight ends are really bad. My tight ends are really gross. I'm going to have a hard time pushing through. With 3, I think I can push through playoffs, but I think with 4, I have a better shot at it. And then one of these guys goes down, this team is basically sunk anyways. Like, I don't know if like Chuba is going to save my season. 5 weeks are spreaded. He took Knox, of course did. Makes sense. Let's see where we're at. AJ Spears is a really good pick. He looks really strong. Came out, did some work. Props to him. And he's drafted in the third. This actually is kind of a scary pick for people that actually give a crap about like the Derrick Henry backups. I think like Taiji is probably the best one they've had in a minute. I still gotta contemplate if I want to grab a fourth tight end. I think this is gonna be a fourth tight end build though. Unless it would probably be like this. If I can get Tyler and like Hunter, I would probably do it. If I only get one of these guys, I'm probably just gonna sit and take Chuba and run 5 tight RB. Kamal Sanders' health is already kind of a question coming into the season. Even though he has somebody that is ahead of him that is pretty good as Miles Sanders. He's played behind CMC and like Deontay Foreman and stuff, but you know, like Chuba's just fine. He's not a especially good player. Just fine. Let's see. You guys are taking a minute to get their draft started. Come on, man. Get this over with. Take your players. Beast mode. Mechie. Whatever. Michael Mayer. Man, Michael Mayer. Sheesh. CH. That's interesting. No, there you go. Bryce Young, Sam Howell, CJ Stroud. Like, you know, I kind of called that. That's what's kind of funny. I knew Sal was against team. I was a little surprised that Ritter wasn't on this team. I think Ritter is going to be very interesting playing behind a strong line. And I think that, I don't know. That's just gross. It feels not good. It's going to be like heavy relying on like a Howell to like take over. Hunter Henry already got snagged. That sucks. Which I can do there. Zach Ertz is getting drafted now. That's cool. I'm up. Let's grab Conks. I do need a third tight end either way. And I could take Chuba, but like Chuba, I do actually have Chuba ranked a lot better than Hayden Hurst. I'm a fan and Trey McBride. I really don't really like these guys too much. Here goes Trey McBride. I'm really pondering this in the last second. With Chuba is like he can just randomly kind of fall in the end zone because you know something happens to Miles, which does happen. Like he actually has like semi-usable stats. You're talking about 700 yards in one season, 6 touchdowns, 600 yards and like 2 touchdowns. Could have been 3 even. You know, like he's gonna have these random usable games. He costs you nothing, and it's like a kind of a goofy handcuff. I could paint a story where I think that, you know, Derrick Henry just goes down and I can grab his backup in Taiji, who is probably a better talent than Chuba. Don't you way more than like, where am I going to sit? Yeah, we're doing this. We're going to grab Fan. As I said, a 4 tight end build. We're going to stick with it. I got a little scared. We're going to grab a 4 tight end. This actually gives my tight end room basically usability every week. The odds of them not performing through the regular season is super slim. And then the odds of them not performing in playoffs are also very slim. Because you're looking about tight ends perform at 8 to 12 points, or 8 to 10 points generally, or 6 to 10 points, probably within 1 every 3 to 4 weeks. So this kind of covers that. I think I have a shot, basically a 25% shot per player to like get a valuable week out of them. These are correlated too, which is kind of cool. And then obviously it's really nice. Correlated stacks. Yeah, this is fine. 4 tight end. I don't know. I think Taiji would have been the best upside pick there because, you know, if Miles goes down, like I don't think I'd get a lot out of Chuba. But like, let's say he doesn't go down, and then like, what do I get with it? It's gonna be a tough one. It's only a Schultz. It's gross. Yeah, I think Taiji would probably been the smart pick. On another set of picks, it would have been nice because I then playing for an upside guy that could cover a lot of my losses. We'll see. Oh, pick 215, man. That's nice. I'm happy for this guy. Good set. Really good at overall solid spread, I guess. I have no idea what this person's gonna do, but we're gonna check out their pick on the end of this. So we're gonna go over here, check the completed. As you can see, 130 regular drafts. Probably. I have like 20 weekly winners, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. We'll put this together about 90. So it's like 600 plus drafts. And not including my slows. I have a lot of slow drafts going on with people right now. All right, let's check this out. That's Ball Mania 139. Let's go check this. Beautiful draft. Let's name this thing really quick. Oh, screw it. I'll name it after. All right. Let's look at the one. What did he take? He took a day likely. All right, cool. That's interesting. All right. Quick team review. We got Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford. Herbert with Keenan Allen, the correlation of a Jerry Jeudy bring back. Matthew Stafford with his Van Jefferson, no bring back, just a quick small stack. Could have brought back Slayton. Maybe if I didn't grab one of these other guys up there. Very plausible. I think would have been nice. It could have been a smart play. He did get drafted though, so who knows if we would have gotten him back. Bijan, Tony Pollard, elite RB, double elite, followed by James Robinson, Connor, and Jeff Wilson. James Conner, Jeff Wilson. James Conner is one of my guys, and I got him at a discount. Can't be beat. I'm excited for that. And I got Jeff Wilson at ADP, which is not bad, given that where he was going early in the season, where he was going towards the middle of the end. We know that there's news that there is no Dalvin Cook. I think this is going to be fine. All bye weeks are separate, so I'm always going to have at least 4 RBs playing or 3 RBs playing on any given week if they're all healthy. That's a big if. Hyper fragile. This is one of those teams that double elite hyper fragile could have gotten. It's kind of scary here. If Cam Akers would have came back to me pick 80, I would have snagged Cam Akers. Just didn't happen. Jerry Jeudy, Keenan Allen, Gabe Davis, Jahan Dotson. So deep shot guys. Gabe Davis, Jahan Dotson, Jameson Williams, Van Jeff, down the field type players. Rashad Bateman, we don't know what kind of player he is still because of his limited games. Was used in 2 types of styles. He's been used as a possession receiver his rookie year. Was used as a deep threat only in his sophomore year before he took injury. I think Alan Lazard and then Jameson Williams, the 7-game suspension, who's also a deep threat player. So we know how that goes, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 deep threat players, 1, 2, 3 possessional-ish type guys, and that's going to set me up. 4 tight ends, and funny enough, these are correlated. Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, and Jake Ferguson. Correlated picks, stacked Alan Lazard and Tyler Conklin, and then Noah Fant just by himself. It's just, I said it all draft, it's good advancement rates, and it gives me consistency at tight end. I can bank, that I'm probably getting, 170-ish points from my tight end position, maybe a little bit more if they're doing better. So let's assume they get me 10 points on average between the 4, which is actually what 4 tight end averages out to anyways. If you actually looked at my how to punt tight end article, like I can expect 8 to 12 points on any given week from 4 tight ends. If they get me, by week 14, 10 points each every single week, I get 140 free points in the tight end position, which is like really, really strong because some guys are going to have way less than that. So yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about the 4 tight ends, and it's giving me at least a shot at 10 points, 10 plus points any given week on the playoffs, which is basically advancement, man. So, and then let's look at some of these teams up here really quick. We got this guy I kind of crapped on. I really don't like this team. The running backs, stout. The quarterbacks really kill this team. So this tight end. Like let's assume this team advances. Like it advances, and then a quarterback sucks and a tight end sucks. This team just loses. It just straight up loses because it gets like 6 at or 5 at tight end and like 18 at quarterback. And even if his receivers all put up, like just put up god numbers, like the odds of these running backs kind of just getting through, it's pretty good, right? But like, what do you expect? Like you're only gonna get 20, 4 points from 2 of your positions, and then your last 6, have to get 100 plus for you because you're actually need to get like 120 because you need about 140 to advance. So this is gonna be a really tough call. That's a lot to ask for 6 guys to put up 125 points when these guys do nothing. That's a rough one. but the wide receivers were really stout. I think this was a really good draft up into the 4th, maybe even the 5th pick. I would have been like, okay, cool. You know, you get stacks. You're probably gonna get Kirk down the road. You're gonna ease Sim, but like it just did not go that way. So even in advancement, it's gonna be tough because these are some really bad quarterbacks right now. To be drafting rookie quarterbacks just do not do it. They just do not do it. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. So let's say Hal doesn't get it together by week 7. And then, so a good example of this would be, let's say Hal is the only guy in week 7. He has a bad game, right? He gets 12. He loses 10 points automatically against everybody else. And then he gets to week 14. And what if these two guys just like get like 15? And then he loses another like 5 points. It's a tough call. I do want to look at some other teams here. Let's look at this other red shield. Three quarterbacks. It's fine. The spending kind of makes sense to get 3 quarterbacks. If you don't really believe in these two and you spent less, it's fine. These RBs are kind of decent. A lot of hype train. This is gonna be rough. Terry Hill, Crystal Olave, Calvin, that's nice. I think the receivers here, he capitalized really hard. Good stacks with his Geno. Calvin Ridley with his Lawrence. I think Lawrence. This is fine. And Deshaun Watson with his Elijah Moore. Everything here is like actually pretty stout. I like this team. I just think that getting 3rd quarterback could have been kind of sketch, and I think maybe pushing up for another RB instead of 2 hype train guys, because you're playing about this guy for 3 weeks and you're hoping these 2 kind of put up, and they're not the guys I think that are consistently going to put up good numbers. I don't think this team's going to advance. Let's get on badge list. Hell? Oh my God, that's gross. All right, you got Joe Burrow, Daniel Jones, Tannehill. I think Joe Burrow, Daniel Jones is fine. Ryan Tannehill's not going to contribute. Edler Gibbs, cool. Brian Robinson, cool. I think the Gainwell pick is fine. I don't know why you grabbed Leonard Fournette and Kareem Hunt here. A little questionable. I think grabbing one's fine, but I guess you're just banking. These receivers are not strong enough to, even at the ADP, drop 162 for Rashid, because that was kind of where his rate was earlier in the season anyways. This is not strong enough to get him to advance. This team is dead. The reach on Kincaid's just dumb. Reach on Higbee kind of dumb. Could have got Higbee later, honestly. I think he got him a little bit past ADP. Got him at right ADP. This is just not a good team. I'm sorry there, Brandon T. Barber. This is a rough one. Other than that, guys, thank you for hanging out. I'm sorry. I went on a negative note, but some of these teams are just not that good. If you want to catch us on another episode, feel free to. Please, I have done episodes throughout the season already for the Go and Take a podcast. Next year, if I'm still running this, I definitely want to do more. I want to show you guys my whole process, my whole mindset, how things have changed, show them more of my projections. I did a little bit of this earlier on Best Ball Strategy articles and my Best Ball Strategy podcast portion. So please go check that out. And then other than that, man, you all have a good one.